I'm about to show you the $10,000 move that could change everything. I just placed a $10,000 buy. Here you can see that I borrowed my 10,000. I rounded up a little bit to get some even numbers of shares. Let's take a look at what I bought. The new positions that will now have a place in my portfolio will be SPMO and SCHG. I did split my buy between the two of them. I did 70-30. I have $6,962 of SPMO waiting to purchase, which will give me 59 shares. And I have $3,045 of SCHG waiting to buy, which will give me around 94 shares. I am a contrarian to a lot of beliefs about investing. And one thing that everyone always says is diversify, diversify, diversify. That is true, but not in the beginning of your journey. In the beginning of your journey, it's important to have concentration. Concentration is what builds wealth. Diversification is what protects wealth. You shouldn't be trying to get rich quick. You shouldn't be trying to pick penny stocks that you think are going to go to the moon. You shouldn't be trying to pick meme coins or meme stocks that are going to go to the moon. I've seen so many people waste so many years of their life trying to buy things like AMC stock, trying to pick the next cheap stock that's going to go to the moon. So AMC is a great example. You can see that there was the big meme rally when dumb money was becoming very popular and people thought that they were going to pick the next Dogecoin, they were going to pick the next Shiba coin, and they were going to pick the next GameStop. So many people got hosed during that and they lost a lot of money. There's some people that made a lot of money, but the odds of you being that person are very unlikely. All of the people I know that try to do that are all broke. And that's because they're all wasting their money trying to get rich quick. Getting rich quick is not how you actually get rich. To get rich, you need to have strategy. You need to have high conviction in your buys. You need to buy things that only really go up in value. They might have declines like everything else, but they always come back up stronger than ever. If you want to build real wealth, ETFs are your best bet. Powerful ETFs that are heavy in some form of growth. So SCHG we will talk about first, and then we will talk about SPMO after. And let's take a look at both of their holdings, and you can see why these are two of the companies that I chose to add to my portfolio. VGT is my biggest holding and it's 99% tech. It's now time that I diversify into some other sectors. I have built a reasonable portfolio. Now it's time that I diversify and spread some of my risk. And by risk, I essentially mean volatility. Volatility and risk are not the same thing. Volatility just means how fast it goes up and down. Risk means that you lose money. So you only lose money when you sell. Over the last week, I've seen quite a few YouTubers who have sold shares because they can't stomach seeing their portfolio go down in value. Don't buy things that you don't have strong conviction in. If you see something go down in value, you should see this as a good buying opportunity to buy more, just like you saw me buy $10,000 just a moment ago. Now, VGT does not give me access to any of these companies like Tesla, Amazon, Google, Visa, and more. There's almost 200 holdings in SCHG, and there's just over 100 holdings in SPMO. SPMO also gives me some great companies like Meta, JP Morgan and Chase, Netflix, Walmart, GE Aerospace, and more. It does only have about 34% in technology at this time. It rebalances 2 different times out of the year, and it does follow momentum. It's possible it will outperform SCHG, and it's possible it will underperform. Both of these ETFs have very low expense ratios. I don't really like to buy things that are over 0.15% expense ratios, which is why I don't really own QQQ. Both of these funds are very heavy in growth, and I do believe long term that both of them will do well. I know that both of them will self-cleanse as companies do poorly. They will be removed. As companies do better, they will get added, and it does give me some diversification out of the only sector that I'm in now, which is tech. So happy to do that as I am passing the 500K mark. When I started this journey in 2020, I bought both real estate and stocks because I wasn't sure which one was better and I wasn't sure which one I liked more, and both were great opportunities at the time. Real estate had really low interest rates. I have a house at 2.5% interest, a house at 3.75% interest, and both of those are rental properties right now. I'm going to be unloading my real estate over time, and I'm going to be putting that money into equities instead. I do believe long term that equities are better. They're much less headache. They're better for growth. They're more liquid. I see much better opportunity with them. As far as real estate, I think it's best to own your primary residence, especially when you're house hacking. I think that's the best way to build wealth as far as real estate goes. I'm getting sick of repairs and maintenance. That's my biggest gripe with real estate. I'm sick of the time that it takes. I would rather spend that time making more money. And I know you might say get a property manager, but I've experienced having a property manager in the past, and it always seems like they make up reasons to say this needs to be fixed, that needs to be fixed. And then they're just taking that money out of my profit every single month. And personally, having managed my own real estate for a while, it's not really that hard. It's just that every once in a while, it does take a lot of money or time out of your pocket for either repairs or to go do it yourself. And that time could be spent making more money. Now, one thing that I think has a place in most people's portfolio is Bitcoin. It does see a lot of volatility and it's down about 25% from all-time highs. I don't think you should buy Bitcoin with leverage. I'm not a crypto guy. I personally don't think that I am ready to buy it at the price. I think the price target that I would get in would be about 80,000. I do think that it will go back down below 80,000 in the future. If it doesn't and I miss the boat, I'm okay with that. That doesn't matter to me so much. Price matters. Believe it or not, I had people that are telling me that they got in at maybe like 120K, 110K, 100K. It seems like people always bandwagon when the price gets really high and then they start to buy. But you obviously want to buy when the price is really low and everybody has sold. And everybody seems to buy high and sell low, or they just buy high and then they have to wait 5 years before they're break even, and then they start to maybe see some profit. It has so much potential. It's just that I don't want to buy at 95K. Some of you might be happy to buy at 95K. Good for you. Buy it up. But I have a lot of leverage already, and I don't think that this is the type of thing that you want to buy on leverage. It could drop another 40, 50%. I mean, it did plenty of times. And it might not happen now, and I might miss a good buying opportunity, but I'm okay with that given I'm already going to be very wealthy. If you're going to buy cryptocurrencies, you do have to have a bigger stomach for volatility. It's not very scary to buy something if you don't have any leverage, but if you do have leverage, it can be a lot scarier to go through those price swings because you can get margin called and that can cost you a lot of money. Now I'm going to make sure that I continue to track everything very diligently. I just got my interest rate dropped down to 4.9% and I'm actually trying to actively get it dropped down to 4.4% in the very near future here. We will see if we can make that come to fruition. That makes me feel a lot more comfortable getting a little bit more margin into my portfolio and to lever up a little bit more because I'm not even at that same monthly payment that I was at before. This $10,000 buy will put me at around a $600 per month payment when I was paying $1,020. And it's going to let me take advantage of this little dip that we all saw. I'm sure everybody was wondering if I was going to buy. And yes, when the price is right, I will buy. Is a little nice exposure to some other sectors and the beginning of my diversification. So stay safe out there. See you next time.